Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, or tonight's video rather, we are taking a look at the DNT Optics Zulus V2. Now this is the one with a laser rangefinder built in. It's also got an IR illuminator built in, as all of their models do. Unfortunately, the menu options aren't going to come across on the screen. At least I don't think they are. But I am going to try to give you a little bit of an idea of what things look like. We're sitting out here and there is a target downrange at 100 yards. I'm going to show you right now, tell you what, let's put this back into day mode and I'll show you what the range looks like right now. You can see, there is a little bit of moon illumination tonight and you can kind of sort of see, there we're zoomed in, you can sort of make out the shape of the target frame down there. But it's certainly not clear, could maybe possibly barely shoot at it. Let me turn this on to night mode and we'll see if the video keeps recording. No, video shut off. So we'll start the video back up again. Here's what it looks in night mode, and there's no IR illumination turned on. I'll show you over here, you can see kind of on the edge of the trees there, the sky's still got a little bit of light to it. Let's look around here a little bit. Yeah, not a whole lot to look at. Let's turn the IR illuminator on, and we're just going to let it use its auto setting. There we go. And yep, it's, oh, I believe that's on the lowest setting of the IR illuminator. And you can see that we can see that target at 100 yards just fine. Let's see if the rangefinder comes up on the screen for you guys. I don't know if it will. I will just kind of narrate what I'm seeing in the optic. I'm going to hit the rangefinder. Okay, and I can actually see, as you probably can, the pulse of that laser downrange there. You can see it's telling us the same thing as it did during the daylight, which I would assume it would. But the red square in the optic is pretty well lined up with where that pulse is down there. So yeah, let's turn that off. Let's zoom in and see if we can make out features on that target at all. All right, no, not really. What I'm going to do is try to turn the illumination up. Okay, that's auto. You see it blanks it out there. We can not really make out dots on that target. IR off. On the lowest setting. All right, cranking up on the IR. Doesn't really seem to do a whole lot, but we do have a rise there at just about 50 yards, blocking the way. Okay, one thing that I notice, so I've got the screen, oh gosh, you can see, that's the illuminator reflecting off my hand. The screen is really easy to adjust the brightness setting. It's just a single tap on the right button, adjust the screen brightness, and that's nice that it's quick and easy to get to, that you don't have to go through a menu system to get to it. But even on the lowest setting, it is still too bright for at night. I wish I could go a couple more notches down. It is very, very bright, and when I pull my eye away, like I feel like I've been looking at the sun with my right eye. So yeah, it's very bright. Because I'm on a rest back here and I can see the target frame, we are going to take just a couple of shots. A major problem that I've had with IR night vision optics in the past is when you take a shot at an animal or target or whatever, there's a flash that's emitted by the gun that obscures the optic for a minute, and the optic doesn't always recover fast enough to see the animal before it's completely out of the picture. That happened on a hog in Texas. I took one shot and it took me too long to get back on the hog to get a second shot off. This was on an AR. And I did not have another opportunity to put another shot into it. So let's take a shot here. And we're just gonna shoot kind of center mass on that target down there. I'm on the lowest power, and I wanna see how long the flash whites out the screen. I do have a suppressor on the end of the rifle here, so that will help things out significantly, but it does have the muzzle brake end cap, so we'll see. All we can do is try. Okay, not too shabby with the suppressor on anyway. The smoke, there was definitely some smoke clouding it, but there's nothing you're gonna do about that. I didn't see that much of a flash. I'm gonna take one more shot here, and I'm gonna look to see if I can see the flash with my naked eye. Okay, no, I cannot see any flash with my naked eye coming off that suppressor. That's a good thing, so that's gonna help out quite a bit. I have a notion, because we can, I'm going to unscrew the suppressor and see if that makes any difference, because while it is nice to have a suppressor on there, not everybody is going to be hunting with a suppressor. We'll pop that off for a second. And because there are sleeping people around, I will only take one shot, but this ought to give an idea of what would happen. Okay, there was a bit of a flash, but it absolutely didn't white out the screen to be unusable. Now this is a 6.5 Grendel, and there was no muzzle brake on there to make the flash even worse, but yeah, I'm impressed with that. The screen refreshed quick enough and accommodated for that quick enough that I didn't feel like I lost any situational awareness of what was going on downrange. That's really cool. Okay, I like that quite a bit. Let's go to a little bit shorter range. Let's walk around a little bit with the IR illuminator on the lowest setting and just see what stuff looks like. All right over here is my pistol target rack. That's actually really clear. Now the focus on the scope, sorry about the jostling guys, I apologize. The focus on the scope is set for 100 yards. We're gonna see how usable that is. Okay, here we're at about 30 yards. That focus is completely usable on that plate rack. Let me move the focus knob just a little bit. Yeah, it was actually just about perfect. All right, all right, the gun is unloaded and on safe. Let's take a look at some of the animals around. All right, there's some ducks over in their pen. Again, I'm not gonna be adjusting the focus between these. I'm just curious to see what we see. That was at, they're about 20 yards away there. Plenty easy to see where they're at. Let's take a look across the road here. So of course, because of the IR illuminator, stuff in the foreground is gonna light up quite a bit because it's gonna be reflecting that IR. Hey, I don't know why I'm guessing range. I have a built-in rangefinder. Look at that. All right, so those hay bales are 60-ish yards away. Okay, there's the target rack again. See, I'm about 40 yards away from them now. I really do like that it gives that red square on there that's lined up with where it's ranging. That's pretty cool. Let's go back a little bit further. Okay guys, I live out in the country, so I can stand on this road and look down it just fine without fear of anything. Let's pop that rangefinder on. Let's see if we can Okay, so the road that comes up there, you can see 330-ish yards away. Let's see if we can pop that IR up just a little brighter and see that a little clearer. Oh, there's auto. Okay, because of the ambient light, let's turn it off. Because of the moonlight and the pole light down there, it's actually easier to see everything down there without the IR illuminator on. That's pretty cool. So we're looking into the moonlight now. Oh, let's turn that rangefinder off. See, there's quite a bit of moonlight out, and that's pretty slick. Back down towards my target rack here. The haze has cleared off from in front of the moon, so it makes things really easy to see here even without the illuminator. There's my target rack down there, and I'll try to get that in focus now. Alright, there's in focus. So that's not very clear. Let me get up just a tad higher. Alright, standing in the neighbor's field here, there's the target rack down there. You can see it pretty clearly without the illuminator. Let's pop the illumination on for a second. Okay, there's level 1 illumination, and you can see that it gets a whole lot less grainy. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it just washes out the foreground more, really, when you put more illumination on it. So yeah, there's level 1. We can see pretty darn clearly with that out there. Now, oh, I forgot. This IR illuminator has an adjustable beam on it. Sorry guys, this is a little bit shaky. Let's see if I can... what happens when I... Ah, the focus gets out further. Or narrower, I guess. Okay, let's look down the road again here. Now I'm curious. Okay, so there's that upslope in the road we were looking at a little bit ago. About 300 yards away. Oh yeah. Look at that. So that's on the narrowest setting. Let's see, we could even widen that up just a tad. Okay, that looks really good. Throw that range on the road down there again. Yeah, 300 yards, 318 to the top of that crest there. And if there was something standing there, I could absolutely shoot it. And that's on, okay, that's on the lowest setting. What happens when we turn up the intensity? Okay, there we are on the brightest setting. I'm sure you can hear the trains around. And we can focus that beam in really nicely. Now the road washes things out. If I hit it in front. Oh, there's a deer crossing. Right down there at the bottom. Ha! He crossed right onto the corner of my property there. Or she, or whatever. Let's range where the deer went in, was right in there. Yeah, about 230 yards away. Something like that. That was pretty cool. Didn't expect to see that. Alright, so you can see as long as there's nothing close to reflect things and wash it out, you can see pretty well, pretty far. I'll zoom in there. Oh, it's not focused for that distance. Yeah, not going to see super clearly. That's okay. Alright, well, that was a good little test there. Alright, we'll go ahead and load the gun and take one shot here. See what things look like. Alright, that's pretty slick. I should put this on a 22 sometime and bring it out here so it wouldn't be so loud at night. But that is really, really easy to see and shoot down there. And I am 62 yards away. So not too difficult a shot, but that's pretty easy to see. All right, one more thing here before I call it a night. I forgot to try adjusting the focus on the IR beam sitting down from the bench here. So let me do that. Okay, and we're on auto. So let's just see if that makes that target easier to see here at 100 yards. And we can sure as heck blow it completely out in either direction we want to, close or far. But yeah, I can see that there is a paper attached to that cardboard, but I can't really see any detail on it. That is not a big deal at all, but you can see what focusing that does enable us to do is see pretty clearly on that back hill that is 150 yards away. And I can see that back hill really clearly. I wish I had some hedge apples sat out there to plink at. That'd be kind of fun. Maybe that's something for a different day. All right, so yeah, I gotta remember that I gotta focus the IR beam to something appropriate too. All right, guys, well, this optic is a ton of fun, and I'm liking it a lot so far. There are some downsides, but it's a pretty compact package that absolutely works for spotting and potentially hunting at night. It'd be real fun to go out and target shoot with, and maybe sometime I'll get in on a night shoot at the gun club and take this along. That'd be a lot of fun to shoot out to longer distance with the IR, but I do plan to varmint hunt with this in the future. I would really like to do some coyote and coon hunting, and there is a certain part of the year, I gotta figure out what part it is. There's a certain part of the year where you can hunt coyotes with night vision in Missouri where I live now. So I'm gonna have to look into that and see exactly when that is. They're talking about expanding the season that you can use night vision for because the populations are getting so huge. So that is something I hope to do in the future. I don't know if I'll ever get it on video or not, but that is one of the reasons that I was really excited to try out this optic, because it is a heck of a lot smaller and lighter than the other option that I've had in the past. I think that's all I've got for you guys today. I will hopefully do a summary review on this in the future, but I want to get to know it just a little bit more and do more shooting with it before I tell you all my opinions. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Are you guys planning on getting a night vision optic sometime soon, or do you already have one that you like? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all have a good one.